Right, meanwhile, some breaking inputs which are just coming in the latest in the $2 billion banking scam. The businessman Mehul Choksi of the Gitanjali Group has refused to appear before the Central Bureau of Investigation in India in connection with the probe. The Mehul Choksi has argued that it is impossible for him to travel to India as his passport is being suspended by the Indian government. The Choksi has also claimed that he faces threat from those with whom he had dealings as well as his employees because of the closure of the business. Now, in a 7-page letter, the owner of Gitanjali Gems has also claimed that the case has already been prejudiced in India because it has been politicized due to the aggressive media coverage of the story. The Choksi has argued that he is unlikely to get a fair trial due to the trial by media. He says that his office servers have been seized and he's been rendered completely defenseless since he has no access to his office documents. The Choksi has also expressed apprehensions about his health and whether he would receive proper treatment in the case of illness if he were to return to India. All right, now for more on this, we are joined by our legal correspondent Jessica Taneja, who's tracking the developments in this case very closely. Jessica, this was something on the expected lines. Mehul Choksi was asked to appear for questioning, and now he's given a lot of reasons as to why he would not want to do so.
Absolutely, Saleh. And if you see through the entire letter or the email that he has sent to the interrogating officer, he's pretty much made it clear that he's concerned about his well-being. In the 6th point, he clearly points out that he's concerned about his well-being. In case he's arrested, then he would not be able to get proper health care and would be provided treatment only in government hospitals. And imagine these are the problems for such scamsters who have not been able to come back and cooperate with the investigating authorities. So the CBI has been after him, of course, as well as Nirav Modi. But these are the reasons that he's giving. And he's also pointing out in another point of this long email that he has written. He says various political parties in India have been politicizing the issue with the view to glorify their own interests. The entire reports being published in newspapers, various statements made by members of various political parties. I think this letter is completely addressed to address the issues of CBI, but it does look like he has his own agenda in mind.
Absolutely, Jessica. And if you were to look through what he has written in his email, it looks exactly similar to what Vijay Mallya said, stating that he does not expect a fair trial in India, that he's facing a witch hunt, a trial by media, and that is the reason why he would not want to be tried in a court of law in India. Are there parallels in this case, and how is the Indian government going to respond to this?
Well, Saleh, you have to understand there is an important treaty called the MLAT, or the Mutual Legal Assistance Treaty, and that is what was also considered when Vijay Mallya was supposed to be brought back to India. Since India has a Mutual Legal Assistance Treaty with the United Kingdom, it is difficult to see, or it is difficult to point out whether we have such mutual legal assistance treaties, and under this he can be brought back with cooperation from the respective government of the country he's staying in at this point in time. But also interestingly to point out, Saleh, he says at the 11th point, he says, my properties, both movable and immovable, have been seized and or attached by multiple investigation agencies. The investigative agencies have sealed my existing showrooms and further seized the stock which was lying around. And then he says, the investigative agencies cannot come in the way and infringe the fundamental rights to silence as enshrined under the Indian Constitution. Now, this is important because the CBI is well within rights to conduct the investigation. The CBI is well within their enshrined rights given to them by the Constitution to go after a particular scamster or a fraud like this, which has been done by Choksi and the likes of Nirav Modi. So this is, of course, getting in the way, but we'll have to see. An important point is whether MLAT will allow his extradition or not.
Right, we'll have to leave it there. Thank you very much indeed, Jessica Taneja, for getting all those inputs. Now, it remains to be seen as to how the Indian government, of course, responds to this letter by Mehul Choksi, who's been summoned for questioning, but he has so far said that he fears that he may not get a fair trial in a court of law in India.